Good morning to everybody. I would address three maybe key points of today and take a few questions. As I know I have 3 minutes, so I'll try to fit in. The first one is the topic of Ukraine. It's the most important topic still there is, because to be honest, everybody is probably watching what is happening in the Middle East, and with concern, and it's understandable, but for our neighborhood and our region, what's happening in Ukraine is with utmost importance, because this still is the biggest military conflict since Second World War in our region, and Ukraine needs our help. Assistance, money-wise, weaponry-wise, and all that we can do. And also I had to mention that we should also think that this is not a one-way street, because, for example, right now Ukraine is already delivering assistance, for example, in drone areas to other countries. And they have innovation, they have technology which no other country has. So this is also working as to secure other countries. For example, in Estonia, yesterday we had a drone incident. It was spillover of Ukrainian defense, probably defending themselves from Russian attacks. And no major harm was done, but still it reminds that we need new capabilities, drone-wise, aerial protection-wise, and everybody needs, because, to be honest, in conflict zones, innovation is so rapid, and in Ukraine it's much faster than everywhere else. That is the first thing. Second thing is that we need to keep the pressure on Russia, because, to be honest, this is the only way to stop Russia from aggressor state and coming to negotiations, because if you don't take away the money from Russia, if you don't pressure them, politeness will not work with Russia. It's weakness for them. And tackling shadow fleet, pressuring them with sanctions and everything else is very important. And going to the third point, we will have NATO summit in Ankara. Estonia is well prepared. Our defense expenditure is 5.4%, which is I would say the best we can do, and top country also in NATO. And this is a necessity, not something just to look at, because if you have a neighbor which is aggressor, which has a dictator in power, then you need this kind of action. So for us, CEF and the allies here are with utmost importance. We have warm and good relations with them, and for us this kind of close engagement and good talks between partners is very important, and against also our common enemy. So thank you. If you have questions, I can answer. Yeah.
What can the CEF countries further do to block Russia's shadow fleet?
We have already done a lot, because, to be honest, when we started the discussion about shadow fleet, I can remember that even in Estonia we had this kind of discussion on the political field, that should we be this aggressive towards Russia? Because this is the money, and you have this kind of ability to this kind of open seas principles and so on. But right now I would say that, for example, when we look to Finns, and Finns are quite good at it, Swedes, even Belgium, France, UK has made a decision. So the first one is intent, and the intent in CEF countries is there. If you talk about it, about shadow fleet, everybody gets on board. This is the first thing. And second thing is to have capability, because I don't know if it's a correct number. I'm referring to AI, which is quite modern thing, I know, but according to AI, average length of shadow fleet ship is about, not ship, but journey is about 3,000 to 5,000 miles on the sea. So you have a long distance to intercept, not Russia all the way. So all the countries involved here can do that. And we have also capabilities, and also in European Union and different kind of partnerships, we can pressure every country that gives the flags to this kind of shadow fleet ships and so on. So we have the ability, and I would say that the first thing was the shadow fleet and also Russian assets. The next one, which we are also proposing in European Union, is the combatants, because, for example, Russian fighters coming to European Union, this will be the next big thing to pressure Russia on. Thank you.
There are lots of ships from the shadow fleet now in the Bay of Finland. They come dock Oslo and Primorsk. Is this like a momentum? Could anything be done now?
To be honest, it's a big question for everybody around the Baltic Sea and on the way, because as in Primorsk and Ust-Luga, as much as we know, a lot of harm has been done. They are not capable of pumping everything they were able to do right now, and there's a big question: will ships pile up in our sea, and what will we do? So this probably will be among the topics to discuss today. What can we do? Thank you.
Many countries have said that Russia has lost all their strategic goals in Ukraine war. But it's also possible that we are not seeing Ukraine winning the war either. How should Europe or this area be ready for that kind of scenario?
No, I would say that we can go back many years. It's already fifth year war is ongoing. And you can remember Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin saying that this will be 3-day special operation. It hasn't been a 3-day special operation, not even close. And I would say right now, if you are looking at Ukrainians and we are constantly talking to them, they are in fighting spirit. They say that they can manage, they can hold on with European support. Yes, they need money, they need weaponry, assistance, backing, and also the future in European Union, which to me is quite obvious. So I would say that we should keep the pressure on Russia, assist Ukraine. That probably will get us to just a lasting peace, not the scenarios which are not unlikable to us. Thank you. Thank you.